And I told Madhur, I said, you could have afforded this when you were a new director, when you were a person who was sort of making page 3 because you were looking at page 3 people from outside. This woman has a heart. She has a reason for cheating on her husband. It's not just fulfilling her bodily need,
Sure.
which is how we see.
We assume it's that.
Then came the sort of 80s and the 90s where it became all about
You're either pativrata or you're
or you're a slut supreme.
Exactly. There's a lot of debate and rhetoric right now around feminism and the way we're portraying women on screen and gender on screen, and you've produced also. So what sort of responsibility do you feel in terms of when you're picking a role or when you're ideating upon something in terms of what the end viewer is going to feel when they see it?
You know, I'll tell you a very small incident that happened around a film. I did a film called Dil To Baccha Hai Ji with Madhur Bhandarkar. And I was playing this sort of cougar character who's attracted to her trainer, who's Imran Hashmi, and she's married to a much older man. So when Madhur explained the character to me, I sat down with him and I said, you know, this woman has a heart. She has a reason for cheating on her husband or for wanting to pursue a relationship outside of her marriage. What is that reason? We never see that. We just slot people, women, as ye hai,
homewrecker and or, you know, whatever.
Whatever. So why is she stepping outside her marriage? Let's consider that for a moment. Let's think about that. Let's see her heart. Let's see her allure peeled off her. Because otherwise we're just getting into the stereotype of hum dur se dekh rahe hain. And I told Madhur, I said, you could have afforded this when you were a new director, when you were a person who was sort of making page 3 because you were looking at page 3 people from outside. But today you're Madhur Bhandarkar who arrives in a Merc SUV. So you're not someone who's on the outside. So if you see a cougar, you would probably have access to her mental landscape to understand why she is that. You're not a young boy looking at an older woman who's having an affair with a younger man.
Right.
You have now reached a place in your own life where you can slice off some of her social paint and see what's going on with her. And I think I'm interested in exploring that. So we actually put in a scene into the film where her husband comes in and he says, look, I don't have time for all of this. Why don't you go shopping, you know, go with your friends on a trip, do something else. I've got too much work to do. And which is when she craves that affection and that attention. So it's not just fulfilling her bodily need, which is how we see.
We assume it's that.
Just that. That's fine too. I mean, women have bodily needs, and I got no problem with that. All I'm saying is there's like that can't be all. So that's what I like to explore. So I have collaborations and discussions with directors, and I found that most people are very, very open. They're very open to discussing all of this because I think the whole understanding, the zeitgeist of the time is that everyone understands that the portrayal of women has not been right. It's been very unidimensional. It was very right in the sort of times, the 60s and even like perhaps late 60s, when there was a sensitivity towards women, there was poetry around that, there was a glorification of the feminine. But then came the sort of 80s and the 90s where it became all about
you're either pativrata or you're
slut supreme.
Exactly.
So you know, it's somewhere in between that. You know, everyone's been slutty and everyone's been sort of devoted to one person. You know, so I think people are understanding that, especially creative people. And I've been very fortunate that I've worked with people who've got that understanding.
We rehearsed for Chale Jaise Hawai throughout the schedule, and we shot it the last day of the shoot. Nobody can even try to copy that because the minute they do that, they just fall flat on their face. If you're a Farah Khan heroine, you will feel like I am the best actor in the world, I'm the best dancer in the world.